Welcome to Inside the Program, presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors on the Inside Texas Football YouTube channel. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel. Also, make sure to head to Inside Texas, where you can still get 1 week of access all the way past Christmas for just $1. Today, Eric Nalin will go inside the program, talk about all the different things that happened at practice this week, how Clemson has some schematic challenges for the Longhorns, provide an update on Kelvin Banks' status, and go through a few more insider news and notes. We're recording this on Friday morning. It's weird to think that we're in college football part of the year that's now playoff season.
Yeah.
Because I think you've seen the pictures from South Bend. It is covered in snow. Won't be covered in snow in Austin, but man, it's going to be a great football weekend with the 4 games we've got, and including one at Darrell K. Royal Texas Memorial Stadium.
Yeah, I was driving down to this happy hour we had yesterday. We kind of retired one of our readers' numbers, gave him a nice letter jacket, just basically an appreciation. So it gave me a little windshield time to drive down to Houston. I can't believe we get to do this for a living, Joe. Your job is to go sit in that press box and cover the first ever home playoff game. I'll be in attendance. We're just very fortunate. Good time to thank the fans for, really, you're the ones that subsidize our existence when it comes to this. But yeah, things, they can't be more excited behind the scenes. I think, I would have liked to have the bye, honestly, but it's, a secret part of me is really happy that I'm getting ready to jump in the truck and drive to Austin here shortly. I think the team is really excited about playing in front of the home crowd. It's going to be, this is something that people have gone to, Texas games for 50 years have never seen. So there's a whole lot of there's a bounce in everybody's step. There's excitement. I think that carried over into the practice this week, which is a little bit more physical than I think people anticipated.
Yeah, let's dive into that. Texas did not really have the time off that maybe some other teams did. You can look at the Ohio State and Tennessee game. Neither of those teams made their conference title game, so they got an extra week, basically. Texas did not win the SEC championship game, so they don't get the first round bye. Then they have to turn around a little bit quicker than everybody else. Clemson had to play the same thing. They didn't get one of those top 4 seeds, so they're here in the first round. So neither team has an advantage. Either way, Texas was still physical in practice, at least for some of the key parts of this week.
Yeah, it really came back to, last Thursday was the first time back in practice from the SEC championship game, and they went full pads. I think it helped that they had some visitors on campus. Sark always likes to dial it up when visitors are on campus, but the early part of this week was quite physical. The tone and the tempo of practice really caught some people by surprise. They were getting after it. Now, as the week wore on, it got into Wednesday, Thursday, and then again today. Of course, they geared it down. It wasn't nearly as much physical as it was mental. So the early part of the week, Monday, Tuesday, very physical. Wednesday, they're in spiders. Thursday, yesterday was a walkthrough, which is normally on Friday. They'll do another walkthrough today, and normally that's when there's just they're anticipating what Clemson's going to show them, what adjustments they need to make when that happens. So it's kind of a tale of 2 weeks. First part, getting after it physically, a lot of working on protecting the football. That's where Clemson has a big advantage is turnover margin. And then later in the week is just what are they going to do to us? How do we respond when they run hurry up, no huddle, that sort of thing.
One of the other things that you brought up was some of the challenges Clemson presents. And Texas, there's some muscle memory facing an air raid team. There's some muscle memory facing Garrett Riley, who Pete Witkowski and company, and Jahdae Barron helped to really stifle in 2022 against TCU. Basically 2 coverage busts, or 2 busts, 1 in coverage, 1 on a run fit. I think setting the edge, they created the 2 touchdowns for the Horned Frogs. This is a little bit of a different team than TCU. There are some similarities, at least on the offensive end. What are some of the challenges that Clemson presents with Cade Klubnik at quarterback?
Yeah, Storrs was really complimentary of them, and he's like, they're real simple, but you still don't really know what they're always going to run. They can still be unpredictable in what they're going to do, despite having a pretty simplistic offense. And yeah, we talked about that game a couple of years ago. Terrence Brooks gave up that. He was a true freshman. Terrence Brooks gave up a touchdown. That's not going to happen to Manny Muhammad, I don't think, or Jahdae Barron. So there's a lot of confidence. The no huddle is the one that I think is where Texas spent a lot of time focusing on, because it doesn't matter how talented you are, experienced you are, if you're not set up in a line properly, you can find yourself making assignment busts. So that was a big point of emphasis this week. But like I said, they're real simple on offense, but yet they can be unpredictable in what they're going to run. At the same time, on defense, they don't expect Clemson to throw something that they hadn't seen, and maybe they could go with the 3 high safety looks. I think Texas invites that at this point. They're more than happy to see that look. That's not a change of pace like it used to be. Again, on defense, that what Clemson's going to run. There's a lot of confidence on this Texas side based on preparation and where they view the team at mentally. Clemson presents some challenges, but it's not, they're not reinventing the wheel over there.
It feels like with the Clemson defense, a lot of what Wes Godwin does comes down from Brent Venables from back in the day.
OU was mentioned as that would be like the one changeup that they'll have is like their third down packages. The source said reminds them a lot of OU. So I think you're dead on there.
And one of the other things is TJ Parker is good, Peter Woods is good, Sammy Brown, if he sees some action, is good. They've seen guys like that throughout the course of conference play. So those guys present challenges, obviously, but they're not challenges that they've not encountered quite yet. Before we keep going, got to show some love to our sponsor. That's Andre the Lawyer.
This video is brought to you by Andre the Lawyer. If you're injured, trust the team that secured millions for their clients and helped thousands of Texans with their injury case. Car wrecks, slip and falls, 18-wheeler accidents, on-the-job injuries, and wrongful deaths. Don't let insurance tell you what your claim is worth. Hire Andre the Lawyer to fight for you. Principal office is in Dallas, but they serve Texans throughout the state. So don't wait and call Andre the Lawyer today at 214-444-8808. That's 214-444-8808. The contact information is in the description.
Thank you, LC. Next big thing that we really got to note is whether left tackle Kelvin Banks will play. Unanimous All-American, Outland Trophy winner, Lombardi Award winner. Steve Sarkisian said that both he and Isaiah Bond seem to be improving. Some more, negative reports on Bond's status came out last night. But Banks seems like he's in better shape to play for the first time since leaving the Texas A&M game on, the first or second series.
Yeah, I feel good about Banks playing based on everything we're hearing behind the scenes. Now, you never know if he's going to have a tweak in the morning, warming up or whatever. But right now, I feel good about that. Yeah, I don't expect to see Bond, honestly, but we'll see. It's just been unfortunate that the offense lost a lot when Bond lost his consistency. But getting Kelvin Banks back would be great. There's a lot of excitement about Trevor Gooseby, but you got to get your, Banks is, probably a top 5 player in all of college football. Doesn't qualify necessarily for the Heisman, but he's got to be a top 5 player in college football. You win the Lombardi, Outland, and unanimous, like you said. But yeah, I expect Banks to play, and hopefully that gives the offense a little bit of a jolt.
With regards to Bond, the logical step in is Ryan Wingo. We got a brief practice window. And granted, sometimes during practice, they just do depth chart things instead of top 5, top 6 things. We did see some of Matthew Golden and Silas Bolden at the outside positions. And then on the other outside position, they had Ryan Wingo, Parker Livingstone, and Aaron Butler. But, from all that crew, it sounds like this, at least at Bond's position, may end up being a Ryan Wingo game.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a very tight rotation. Only going to see 4 receivers really in this game. DeAndre Moore, of course, is as the slot. It's a big game for Wingo, a big opportunity. He showed a little bit more flashes earlier in the season, but that guy's only one touch away from breaking a game open or breaking a play open. Throw the guy some slants, get him the damn ball. He's ready to break out. So a lot of confidence in Wingo, and it's the right call. I think Bond has taken way too much shrapnel from fans because he's out there playing hurt. If he's playing drastically different than he was earlier in the season, then it can only be one thing, and we already know he's been injured. So maybe he shouldn't be out there. I think it's probably if he's out there hurting the team like we saw versus A&M or Georgia, I should say, then just play Wingo.
Moving on to some of the more other details that you picked up. You picked up a lot of confidence as a 11-2 team. You'd expect to hear from it, but you picked up some confidence in a player who plays a key role in the defense. I feel like a lot of teams may try to attack him at that star position. He's got a tough matchup, but this is a big one for Jalen Gilbo.
Yeah, it's a huge game for Jalen Gilbo. Yeah, again, it's there's nowhere else to go in the secondary to attack, and so they're gonna, teams are kind of focused on Gilbo. And this week, of course, Clemson would focus on the star no matter who it was. If Jahdae Barron was there, they'd probably still go after him just because Antonio Williams is really good. But I think Texas has a good plan for handling Clemson's number one receiver. Gilbo's had a good year. I think the biggest issue that Gilbo's had is he's had a couple missed tackles, or a couple plays where he had poor leverage. But other than that, he's having a good year. It's just he's more noticeable because nobody else. Where else do you attack? I mean, you throw it over Barron's way, he might pick six you. Muhammad's been a blanket for most of the year. Makuba's playing center field like Ken Griffey Jr. And then Michael Taft, you're always playing with fire anytime you go near that guy. So I think they got a good plan for giving Gilbo help. It won't always look like he has help, but he'll have it. Big thing for him, just make the tackle when it's there.
One other interesting note is we see so often with how many players enroll early at a school, they get involved in bowl practices. Sometimes playoff teams do that. I mean, I think Jalen Hurts famously got involved in playoff prep after he enrolled early. Other teams, they can do that. I think the rule is for on-campus bowl practices, and once you move off campus, then you may not be able to get involved with that. But Texas is going a different direction. They signed the number one class in 2025, and it sounds like they're going to wait until 2025 for those guys to be contributors.
Yeah, I never really understood that whole thing. That's a distraction to me. I don't care how good the player is; he's not going to help you at all. And if he's not going to help you, then what's the point? They're not really gaining real experience because they don't even know how to practice yet. It's a whole new ball game once you get to college. That's more of a winter thing. Get them ready. That's what January, February for. One of the steps becoming a college football player is learning how to practice. And so that this isn't the time for that. We did also mention that two of the guys that are in the portal are practicing still with the team. I think that was already public knowledge, but I was checking to see if there are any more. But Tia Savea and Justice Finkley are still with the team. So you like hearing that. They want to ride this thing out. I appreciate that. But yeah, high school players, they're just a distraction right now. Their time will come.
I think there may be some people may be confused why portal players are allowed to stay. They did it some last year with Casey Kane, maybe even one other. Sawyer Gorham Welch, I think, may have stayed involved.
Handful of guys did, yeah. Handful, yeah. Sark bent his own rule, just because of the timing of everything. Yeah, handful of guys stayed.
It's a reward for good soldiering, and I think it also is. I think everybody involved understands it's not like Tia Savea or Justice Finkley maybe going to like Alabama or a team maybe on the schedule that they really have to worry about. I feel like it may sound harsh, but I think it's fair to look at Savea and Finkley's career, know that they could probably still make it in a Power 2 program, but also know that whatever they go, whatever they do, they needed to be rewarded for some of their play given to Texas. And also knowing that this is going to help them get more practice tape. It's going to help the team.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be something that's going to end up maybe being a detriment to them down the road. Eric, anything else?
No, I'm sure they had something else in that article this morning. We're probably forgetting something, but just go over to Inside Texas. What kind of promo do we have right now?
$1 will get you 1 week. So that will get you from today all the way through Christmas, a little bit more portal action, and hopefully in prep for another college football playoff game against Arizona State. So thank you to Andre the Lawyer. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time on Inside the Program, presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors on the Inside Texas Football YouTube channel.